Dele Alli.
Dele Alli.
Dele Alli.
Dele Alli. Dele Alli.
Dele Alli has revealed his struggles to the public. His interview with Gary Neville on The Overlap was eye-opening.
It's emotional, just seeing that video, just because there are a lot of things that people have to deal with and they keep it inside because it's viewed as weak if you talk about it or if you seek help. And you know, I think it's so courageous of him to come out and talk about some of those things. I mean, that's as tough as it comes as a child.
It's crazy too, because there was a moment where Dele Alli was at the top of his game. I mean, the way that we were speaking about him as a player.
Remember the goal against Crystal Palace?
Yes, I mean.
Dele Alli is a true sports hero for his recent tell-all moment he had with ex-England coach Gary Neville. From being destined to becoming a football great playing for a new Tottenham side to being loaned to Besiktas, a Turkish League One team at Everton. His recent decline in popularity and performance has allowed him to open up and acknowledge his feelings and some of his demons, and his story has inspired others to really think about the battles they've been facing. In a recent interview on Overlap with ex-England coach Gary Neville, Dele had a tell-all interview where he spoke on how life was when he grew up and how it ultimately affected him as an adult. He grew up in an unsteady household, where his mother was an alcoholic and his father, even though he doesn't specify, was said to be staying in Lagos, Nigeria, while Dele was in England with his mum. With his mother's situation and the house being a constant party zone, he was easily susceptible to bad influences and wasn't protected from the world as a child. This ultimately led up to him being molested by one of his mum's friends. After this incident, he started acting up and his mother saw him as a disobedient child, so he was sent to reformation school in Lagos with his father. This though had no impact, as in within a few months he was sent back to his mum, this time falling into drugs and dealing as well. After these events, he was adopted by a family who helped him get into something healthy, something that would get him far in life, something like football. Now Dele's childhood story ends there, but he carries on to make his debut for MK Dons at the age of 16. 2 years later, he gets signed by Tottenham and his life becomes somewhat stable, until it didn't. Him not addressing his childhood trauma led to him falling back into drugs, this time becoming addicted to sleeping medication. It got to a point where he was asking himself if he could just retire right there and then at the pinnacle of his career.
I remember just looking in the mirror. I mean, it sounds dramatic, but I was literally staring in the mirror and I was asking if I could retire now.
Now, as a man, or rather, as a professional athlete, we don't get to see the side of the game. Athletes are constantly told to portray a certain image, otherwise it's bad for their look. Feelings and emotions don't sell tickets, performances and results do. But now let's not even go into athletes. Let's rather think of average people like you and me. We may not have our own PR team, but we are constantly having to constrict ourselves to what society favors and talking about emotions. Correction, talking about emotions as men is really shunned upon. Usually, men suck it up. If they feel something they don't understand, they push it down and find other ways to cope with it. They laugh about serious things so that they don't take things too deep. But now the narrative is starting to change. If the big sports stars are starting to open up about their problems and what happens when the camera's off, what's stopping everyday people like you and me from opening up to each other?